Well, welcome to the show,
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
man. It's a pleasure to know you as a human being.
Thanks, bro.
There's someone you bump into, you're like, oh, this is a beautiful soul,
Oh, thank you.
you know, and it's awesome to just have you in the studio and capture your story, your work. Um, yeah, it's. I think when I came across your mental warrant of fitness, it was such a awakening moment for me. Is the fact that it's not just talked about, but it's captured in art, and it's not just art, but it's words with art, and it was so nice because as men, you sort of get into this pocket of people. You're trying to navigate this, or you want to be strong, you want to protect, you don't want to show weakness. But what is weakness and well-being? And so much going on. And I think the most important thing for me was it got me to think about it and have that conversation with myself. What was your sort of, how did you get to that idea of doing like a mental warrant of fitness?
Well, it was, and I've looked back at where it sort of started, and it started when I was young, and I first started with a pencil. I would draw castles. Yeah, and that was I don't know why, but I just drew castles and I loved it. And I think it was the repetition. I liked the block work, and it was the shading, and it was something I did a lot. And then that sort of evolved to I used to do this mouse, and the mouse was like a character. And also I've started to write little things, and straight through primary school, then high school, I'd write little stories, little things that I had sort of thought about, and they were, hadn't real my style to it. And then, fast forward and going through life and sort of not connecting with my art, I arrived back at creating again when I was in my it was 1999, and my wife brought some paints home for herself to have a go at, and I played around with them and thought, wow, this is cool. So I got back into that creative, creating art, and then what was the culmination of the warrant of fitness was I was having a low point, at 42 years old. I was really lost, I was living other people's dreams and really disconnected from, my intrinsic motivators and my sense of, what I could achieve. And it was at that moment that the art and the little words and messages all came together, because I realized that, for me, I wanted a guide, something I could look at and go, man, if I'm doing most of those things, or if I'm at least having those conversations, then life's going to be okay. It's going to be good. It's going to be what. And so I really wanted to create that for myself. And when it came out, it was quite a surreal moment, because I'd opened that door to vulnerability. So it was this beautiful just meeting of all this energy, and being vulnerable, really vulnerable for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Having my art, back in my life, and wanting, a sort of a guide to help me into the future. That's when it all came together. It was the warrant of fitness, and it really was like the universe was saying, brother, this is a reward, for opening that door. For saying, no, it's time for you to fulfill your potential, not do it for the reasons that you were, which weren't right. And there it was, and it changed my life.
Amazing. Yeah, it has. I mean, your work has become iconic in New Zealand in terms of art itself, amongst all the other artists. And I really want to get into the process of how you go about doing that. Obviously, there's a text in your art, and you are working through that mentally, you're writing that down, but there's also a process of visualizing that text in art form. There's a lot of scribbles, drawings. It's not really in any shape of order. The mental warrant of fitness, for people listening, it's like there we go. it's like a list of just points, that reminders,
Yeah, all common sense stuff.
common sense stuff. You know, I really want to get into it. I want to actually, before we get into the how you create it, let's give the listeners an idea of those points, and I'm gonna actually read those, and then we can have a chat about them,
sure.
whichever ones that we want to have a chat about.
Yeah.
I was actually reading this last night.
Cool.
Oh, this is pretty cool. I slept better. Don't judge or compare yourself. That's a big one.
And it's not surprising it's up the top. You know, it's one of those big things for all of us.
It is, and I think I have got over that now.
Yeah.
I'm 37, and I've kind of got to a point. It's like, I don't give a fuck, man.
It's
Like,
liberating.
This is me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like it, you don't like it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's right.
I don't have to like it myself. I'm just living. Okay, next one. Stop thinking negative thoughts about yourself or others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, that internal dialogue. I think about your head like Apple Music or Spotify.
Yeah.
And you could choose whatever you want to listen to. There's a lot to listen to.
Yes.
You don't want to play the same fucking record over and over again, or
Yeah.
limited selection of
Yeah.
internal dialogue.
Yeah.
So any way you can stop thinking negative thoughts is really a great thing, because it's just valuing your time.
Yeah.
And it's unrealistic to be positive all the time. I hate it when people say you just got to be positive. It's like, fuck off. I don't want to be today. I don't want to be positive today.
Yeah. No, I'm feeling these other feelings,
Yeah,
and I'm okay with that.
yeah.
I can smile in those feelings,
Totally.
with those feelings.
But I think the quicker we can change the album that we're playing in our head to a better song,
Yes.
one that uplifts us.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
And if you are out there and you have negative thoughts, the first step of stopping from thinking is that actually embrace those negative thoughts and not push them away. Don't feel like off about it.
That's right.
And express those. I find when I talk about those things with my closest people that I trust, I usually find that it's the fastest way for me to stop thinking about those things. There's an internal process, but also a validation from people around me about how I go faster than stop thinking and having those thoughts. So yeah, if you're out there and listening and you have a lot of negative thoughts, I think it's okay, but it's also, that's a place to start. You acknowledge that you do. A lot of people are not aware of it.
Yeah, that's
They're
right.
just so deep in this narcissistic gaslighting world. It's real, man.
Yeah. Oh, hey, look. And I think that's what really drove me to think that I had something special was with the Warren of Fitness.
Mm-hmm.
It's helped in a lot of ways just to help to drive those conversations, whether it's internally or externally.
Yeah.
And to me, that was one of the biggest issues that we had in New Zealand as a culture. We just really struggled to talk about how we felt.
Yes.
And I thought, well, that's powerful, and that has value, and that creates opportunity, because if you can help people talk, in a way that's more, just a bit more relaxed,
Yeah.
then hopefully you can have that, significant momentum.
Yeah. My enlightening moment was that I could have those conversations with myself. That was like a big thing for me. I could actually talk to myself and say, I have got a problem.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, this is interesting. Because usually it's always like having conversations with others. But for me, it was like having conversations with myself.
And I think that's what I always encourage in people is that, we've got this thing called imagination, and we can, imagine, reimagine how we sort of monitor our negative self-talk, how we, deal with those emotions. And I love that creativity. I've developed lots of ways to, to help create that narrative, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's fun, it's like the screen above your head. Imagine if you could go downtown and you could turn a screen on above everyone's head, including your own, and you could read, what was going on.
Yeah.
You would take a deeper breath before you judged. and before you compete.
Yes.
You know, and
Yeah, I like that. It's like I always say to people, imagine you're being filmed all the time.
Yeah.
Every single thing you do, you're good, you're bad, you're low, you're high as a human being, you know. How would that change you as a person? And you get to sort of relive your life and study and look at your behaviors and, you know, your verbal and non-verbal. And that would really, I would say it can add a lot of positive, but also open you up to also a lot of all sorts of different feelings that you can navigate through. But ultimately, I think you activate a higher self and a peaceful self.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. Have quiet time. What's quiet time for you? Like, what do you do for quiet time?
I just like to try to just be in the moment when I. You know,
Yeah.
that's for me. Like I like
Be here now, baby.
Yeah, my ideal office, which is home, has a kitchen.
Yeah.
You know, so I can cook. Table for me to work from or have meetings, and then lounge. You know, where I can relax more. And that's my office space, and it works really really well for me. So you know, if I want to not do that list of stuff, you know, I can go do something else, and it's just quietening my mind through you know, a different activity. So yeah,
Nice.
but I find it really important. You know, though I'm quite extroverted in a lot of my my work. I talk to people. I'm, you know, often in front of a crowd. When I'm not doing that, I like to be an introvert. You know, I need that quiet time for my imagination. I really like to stretch my imagination and start to, you know, think about what if this, you know, what if I could do this, or and so that's a big part of my life, is that quiet
Yeah, I love
time.
that.
Really
I
big.
love that.
So I know that, you know, to be at my optimum level, there has to be a lot of that, and I've designed, I suppose, the way I live and work to ensure that I've got that in bucket loads.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And one of the things I've been doing recently that sort of helps me create my quiet time in the present is to not suffer for things that you know you might suffer tomorrow.
Or like,
Suffer tomorrow,
yeah,
not now.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I love that, and
Yeah.
not suffer for yesterday.
No.
So you really compartmentalize suffering.
Yes, because we all have it,
You
don't
know,
we?
I'm suffering right now for the things like my knees hurt, or my shoulders a little bit funny,
Yeah.
or you know, I'm a bit rusty because I've had a little bit less sleep, and I'm happy with that kind of suffering.
Yeah, because it'll pass, won't it? You know?
Yeah.
And the more attention I give it, the more conscious of it I will become, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't want that. Yeah, no, it's great.
Beautiful. Awesome. Trust your instincts. The odds are heavily in your favor.
You know, I spent a lot of my life not trusting myself, and the universe always sent signs, and you know, to try to push me to the places that the places that I needed to go, or were better served. But I ignored them for a long time.
Yeah.
I don't trust myself because I was always I'm a very agreeable person, which became a real issue. So you know, I was more motivated to help other people than to help myself, which had, you know, that negative effect. So that was a big journey for myself to go, hey, look, you know, you've got a lot of good stuff, you know, trust yourself. You don't have to necessarily know what it's going to look like, but you have to follow that feeling, and you know, you don't have to have it all worked out to move forward. Just move forward. Start now, you know, and trusting yourself. So, yeah, it's so true. The odds are greatly weighed to those people that can really connect to their instinct and be mindful of that energy around them. And yeah, it's yielding for me, you know, in terms of, you know, output, success, and when I say success, and just in creation, being myself, being connected.
For me, the feeling of, you know, trusting my instinct was actually trying to reduce this overdrive from your conscious mind and thinking what you can come up with. You know, you can build a matrix to live in your mind, or just have feeling, like get in touch with your feelings. Like right now for me, like there is sort of like not a pain, but it's a strong feeling over here. Maybe it's us doing this podcast, coming together. There's a bit of anxiousness, right? But that's cool. I'm happy with that. The feeling here and at the back or my shoulders. To me, that was such an instinct thing. And I bring that into my business a lot. It's like, use your brain for creative things, use your instinct. There's an ocean of solutions within you that you can use and go with that
Like that
feeling.
ocean of solutions.
Yeah,
It's vast.
we are filled with so much solutions. There's so much in us. So, and sometimes you have to navigate through that because you can't get everything that your instincts want you to get. So you have to not compromise, but you have to learn to navigate through that.
Yeah, and I think just that decision making leads you to the next decision, which is closer
Yeah.
to that place that originally.
Yeah, and I love doing it as a chain reaction instead of going boom, like an atom bomb. Like it's a chain reaction, and I'm constantly monitoring how feedback improve, and then eventually you figure out through your instincts. The direction feels like it's on a constant velocity. It's expanding like the universe. You're not stop starting.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to be an artist. Actually, I don't want to be an artist. I want to go do this. Actually, that didn't work. So there's a lot of stop start.
Yeah. What do they call it? Flow. Is it?
Yeah.
The state of flow.
Yeah, I love that. Okay. Attitude is everything, and everything starts with a thought. So make them good ones.
Yeah. I mean, attitude, like you think about working with someone, or coaching someone, or being around anyone. His attitude is very important. You can coach a good attitude. You can have lots of talented people, but with a bad attitude,
Yeah.
like a flat tire, you're not going anywhere, are you? Really, in the end, it's and I think I had a bit of a bad attitude, and the reason I say that towards a lot of my life for a long period of time was that I was very egocentric. So it was easier to blame, circumstances or other people, avoid, hide away, deflect, all that sort of stuff. So, it's kind of looking in the mirror, I had to really, I was thinking about attitude. It's like, well, yours has sucked for a long time, So that was big. That was kind of a moment where you're a bit embarrassed, but you kind of have to have that feeling, don't you? A bit of guilt or shame.
Yeah, you take responsibility for it as well. I remember I used to be so happy and such good attitude, positivity. And when I started Johnson Corner, there's a lot of challenges that came into the play, the reality of business and all that kind of stuff, and the people around me. I just became a different person, and my attitude was fucking shitty, man. Like I was rude to people. I was rude to people around me. I was like, what the fuck is this? And then you have to kind of remove yourself and create that space, and then you can add love in that space. That's been my journey in the last 10 months. It's really just like choosing the right people around me. I got rid of all my friends, everybody around me. I just, spend a lot of time with myself, and just sort of rebuilding. I always knew that within me, there's always that, the source of life. But I also got to learn the tyrant in me. We have evil in us. And so it's a lot of reflections on how can I use that for good? How can I turn that into a good attitude? But there is also a lot of layers of ruthlessness. Yeah. We are operating with time and space. I did not exist for millions and billions of years. And then here I am. I got 75 years, 100 max. Yeah. And then I'll never exist for millions and billions of billions of years.
You're 37, I'm 50. I'm like...
Yes, that's right. So you demand a sense of ruthlessness from people around you, but you also don't want to get uptight. There's room for actually experiment and learning.
Yeah. That's the trick, isn't it? I think when you can... I like, like a forest, and you have those fire breaks.
Yeah.
And you need those to make sure that you just don't catch on fire, I think attitude is it's exciting when you know how to really maximize it as often as possible.
Absolutely. Okay, next one. Respect will grow out of performance. I didn't understand this one. Tell me more.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I it's not that I wanted respect, but I said to myself, you you will enhance your mana, you will get that respect if you perform. For me, the performance is around really authenticity.
Right.
It was about like perform.
Oh, I see what you mean. Respect will grow out of performance. If you're performing,
Yes.
the respect grows out of that.
Yeah, but performing for me it was but performing about being myself, being authentic,
You're
doing
nourishing the roots and the tree, and then the fruit comes.
Yeah.
It's a byproduct.
yeah, absolutely.
You don't demand it, or you don't create it through egocentric fake status
No, and I
or
think
positions of power.
yeah, and I had respect because I was I believe a really good person, but for me now that respect is around performing and saying, well, I really do want to help change things, I do want to be someone who adds value, and is
You want to be useful
yeah,
to a small group of people or
Large group.
the humanity.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You want to be
totally.
useful. You want to figure that out. How
Yeah.
can you be useful, and how you validate that. Yeah, I love that. Okay. Guard your reputation. You only have one. Talk to me about this reputation. What is reputation for you?
Reputation is mana for me.
Yeah.
For those that don't know what that is, for Māori, mana is that state of being, where people will be drawn to your mana because you are someone who is, a value adder, and someone who is compassionate, with empathy and wants to help in those type of things. Of strong character. So yeah,
You have to guide that. We just guard that. Sorry, we just talked about how respect grows out of that performance, and the performance is about being useful, adding value. So you want to protect the fact that you have a mechanism and a tool and a way of adding value. So you want to protect that, and that's sort of you're expressing that within the word reputation.
yeah, and it's those behaviours that it's how you treat people. It's easy to judge someone. Don't judge or compare, but when it comes to seeing how other people treat other people, and we were just talked about that, when you weren't yourself, you felt like you were rude to people.
Yeah.
And people could look at that behaviour and go, that's not my kind of guy,
That's right.
He doesn't have the same values as me.
Exactly.
So I think it's really important that, reputations, of course, will change over time. But you do want to guard it. It is your brand.
You do.
And you need to be very mindful of who you bring into that fold as well, because those people close to you can often represent.
And you also want to think a lot about what that brand is. Like a lot of different brands for people, there's also different brands. Like if you look at the Elon Musk template of building a brand, the Steve Jobs template of building a brand, and a Mark Zuckerberg type, or a Putin, or a Biden, or a Trump, those brands are built on this idea that you want 50% of the people to love you, you want 50% of the people to hate you, you create division, polarization, you activate this metrics of people just going at each other, and that adds value to your brand.
Yeah.
And then I can say whatever, I want to do whatever, and that sort of drives. So very fascinating concepts and architecture of brand building. People do it all the time. People go in boards, community work. People sit in the council. They want to go become the prime minister. It's all about that brand building and how they want to do that based on influence of other people or how other people project them.
Yes.
And there are different projections of you in everywhere you go. There's something about that I like, which leads me to this next one, which is my favorite. Stay clear of bigots and energy suckers.
Well, it's true, isn't it? We just talked about
Trump.
Trump.
You've been so nice and polite until point 8, and you're like, whoa! I was like, where did that come from?
Well, Donald Trump is a good example.
Yeah.
And it's a brand that I want to stay clear of in terms of a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I admire people like that in terms of how clever they are.
Yeah.
Even though, a lot of stuff with the division and polarization doesn't work for me. They're very clever
Yeah.
people. So
He has a lot of brand rebuilding to do. It's like, how can I try and express the good thing, the good ideas,
Yeah.
because I'm clever.
Yeah.
Like, he talks about how we should get rid of nuclear weapons. If you take the fact that Trump's saying that, and you debate about that, you could come to a conclusion that that's a good idea.
Yeah.
But because it's coming from Trump, you're like, I don't want to get anywhere around this bigot energy sucking idea, because the moment I get involved into talking about a Trump idea, then I feel like my energy is being sucked out of me.
Yeah.
Because everybody's like, what the fuck you doing talking about Trump, supporting Trump? Blah, 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 blah. Cancel you,
And I always think about myself as a battery, and I've worked out what my optimum level is. It's like 80%, and if I'm around energy suckers, they can drain me quite quickly. So I know just to preserve that energy or maintain that. That's just one of the things that I don't do. I'm very open to people. Like I love, as we talked about, just walking around the street and seeing someone. Bumping into them. I'm always available to have a conversation with people. I'm very open. But if someone is a bigot, or I'd work out pretty quickly that they're really just about themselves and taking what they can get, I'm very quick to cut that.
Yeah, nice. I like that. And I think that's a journey that you figure out. You end up spending so much time with other people. And, you also learn to keep your bigotry in check as well. Don't be the guy that's kind of sucking from other people as well. So there's like, if you're giving, you got to expect that you take, or if you're taking, you got to expect that you got to give back. So there's kind of like, you have to constantly kind of audit that.
And, it's interesting. It was in a town hall. I don't know if it was televised, but anyway, there was a Dutch Kiwi. He was in the audience, and he was saying about no more immigrants into New Zealand.
Oh,
but in a Dutch accent, he'd immigrated here himself. The irony of it. But
I mean, who hasn't immigrated?
Exactly, we're all immigrating all the time.
Yeah.
But I'm just fascinated by all sorts of people. I'm.
I never understood that.
I know, I love the times where I got to hang out with people who had spent time in jail and we'd drive to work together, or people who had been in really big roles, creative spaces, tech, inventions. And I just love people, and why would you close yourself off to so many possibilities to learn about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't make sense to me, but. Hey.
Yeah, and you want to do that by not letting your energy get sucked.
Yeah.
Because then you have nothing else to kind of go by with. Okay, next one. Don't hide unless you are playing hide and seek or being chased by a dog.
Yeah, so I mean, really, it's just playful words. If you start to read things, they're playful, and it's just really about making that subject of hiding away, interesting. Hiding to play hide and seek is good because it's a fun thing to do,
Yeah.
But being chased by a dog is not as much fun.
And that's an art form. Like, we're at number 9 now. You have 40 on this art.
Yeah.
It's an art form for someone to kind of read through and have a really healthy balance of the rawness, the playfulness, the sense of humor, the fun, the inspiring bit. So when you do a quick 40-point read, it's an art form for you to kind of come with this artwork for someone else to feel it's captured by it, and it becomes accessible to everyone. So I really want to mention that. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, but the point about hiding, we all do it from time to time. It's just the way that the art is designed, by sheer fluke. Was that your eye bounces around things. So sometimes you just need to see that word hide, or the dog reminds you, that you feel like you're being chased.
Yeah.
Lots of little things going on. But, when you are hiding away and you're disconnected, avoiding stuff, it's not a nice place to spend a long time, in.
Yeah.
So, any time that you can put your hand up and say, hey, it was I made a mistake. Sorry, you
Yeah.
know, is a good thing. Because
Yeah.
you can come out of hiding.
Yeah.
Because you might be hiding physically, but in your mind, you know,
Yeah.
you're shutting yourself away from. I hope I don't see. You know,
Yes.
I don't have to
Yeah.
have that.
For me,
confrontation.
a lot of the hiding has led to inaction.
Mm.
Just waiting for something to hit me. And it never does. It's always just sitting there that needs to be dealt with. And and for me, it's sort of kind of getting into this rhythm that you wake up, you go to work, you show up, whatever there is, you know. You don't need to, you take that pressure off from being perfect, or you got to show up with everything. You know, people hide when things are not working. I'm hiding when things are like not going well, and I'm showing up when things are going really well, and I'm hiding again because there's lots going on. Now it's like I'm showing up every single day. It's good, it's not good, it's great, it's this, it's that. That's it. I
Yeah.
love it. I love all of it. And I want to project that to the world. And I want to talk about that in that fashion. So my days are very different when people ask me, well, you know, how's it going? I get straight to the like, you know, this is what's going. Or, you know, it's not like the default, yeah, great. Life's good. Yeah. Which is what people do all the time. But actually, that's really not the truth. So
I think I like what you said, inaction. You know, hiding away is.
yeah.
And like we talked about, that those precious moments. You know, we could waste a few of them. That's cool, but don't waste too many of them.
Yeah, and the trick that I find, the way to kind of get over it, I would have 5 things on my list to do that I don't want to do, and I'll pick the worst one to start with, and it'll be a very awful experience to actually do. I can't concentrate, I can't focus, I can't be calm about it. But the moment I complete it, then I feel this confidence.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, everything else I'm doing much better, and the quality of that is better. And then I go back to that first one again, and I'll like readdress it. And it's almost like repainting something, you know, and then it gets better.
Yeah.
And that's sort of how I try and trick my brain. Okay. Accept responsibility for your actions. I think that's, you know,
No brainer, eh?
no brainer. It's you gotta step up. You gotta be responsible, and stay away from people that can't do that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I dealt with people where they're just incapable of getting into a state of mind where they even want to get anywhere close to acknowledging that something has happened because of their actions. Well, it takes 2 to tango. So if
Sounds like
something's
a politician, doesn't it? Hey, you can't say you got it wrong because everyone else knows that you did.
yeah, absolutely. No, that's awesome. Under promise and over deliver.
Yeah, I struggled with that for a long time. That was I always wanted to please.
Yeah.
So promise. And that didn't work. That was not good. It wasn't good for
Yeah, I just don't make any
relationships.
promises anymore. Just
Yeah.
like, let's see how it goes.
yeah. I'm getting better at it. I'm really working hard at it because it only leads to disappointment.
Yeah.
Your own
Yeah.
and others.
Yeah, and one of the things that it really mucked with me when I started to kind of remove that over delivery piece is I wanted to not get rid of this value in me. Is ordinary people can choose to be extraordinary, but that doesn't mean you have to overpromise, right? So there's this, you know, Elon Musk does it all the time. When are we going to go to Mars? By 2025. He's overpromising and under-delivering, right? And then when 2025 comes along, he says, well, actually, I'm really not good with being punctual. So whatever, right?
Yeah,
but we'll get there,
Yeah.
right? So it's always like a battle between the two. You want to be extraordinary. Extraordinary means you have superpowers.
Yeah.
You can do Spider-Man shit,
Yeah.
you know? But at the same time, you also need to be okay with taking responsibility for saying something that did not quite work out.
Yeah.
And then you kind of balance that all the time. But I also love the idea of the way I do under promise over deliver is I always share with people my life that's happened the last 3 months,
Right. Why is that?
because I want it to unfold and they can see, because people don't really see the stuff you're talking about, all the things you do. You and I have a chat about your next project,
Yeah.
but not everybody's going to see that.
Privy to that, yeah.
And if you put that out to everybody, not everybody's going to understand it. So it's almost like I'm giving people what's happened in the last 3 months, 6 months, because they can see what's happened and they can talk about it. There's more value in real-time content instead of the future content.
Yep.
If I talk about the future now for 2 hours on a podcast, that will last for like 10 days.
Yeah.
And then the world changed. But if I talk about the stuff that's happening now and what's happened 3 months ago, that's a really valuable content, and that stays longer.
Yeah.
So to me, that's just something what I have figured out in life, which I enjoy a lot doing. Okay, next one. This is a good one. Covering your poo in hundreds and thousands will only alter its appearance. It still stinks.
Yeah. And, you know, I see it all the time, like in relationships, you know, people don't like each other. And so let's say they go on holiday, you know, or buy them each other something.
Yes.
You know,
I see what you mean.
That's just like sprinkling hundreds of thousands over. Hey, the diamond ring looks amazing, but you still don't like each other. You know, why don't you just like not be together? It'd be better for everyone.
Yeah.
Mostly you know. And,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like a business that's going shit, you know. And I've been there, you know, many times, you know, and you pretend and you put over the hundreds and thousands, but the reality is that, you know, it's a poo, and you need to clean it up and start afresh.
Yeah.
So it's just, I think it's, you know, again, it's that visual, that checklist that you can go through, and because there's a lot of different reference points, you know, that one may jump out and go, you know what?
Yeah.
Hey, this job that I've been in a while, you know, and I've been thinking about it. It's actually starting to, you know, smell like a poo, really smell. So yeah, it's another fun one. Obviously, kids always like that one. So what's your favorite one, kids? They go 12. Number 12. Yeah.
Number 12. Awesome. Okay. Number 13. Where's number 13?
Forgive.
Forgive. Is that all it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, there it is.
Yeah.
Number 13, forgive. It's a tough one, man.
Yeah, it is, but it's an
for me,
important piece in the puzzle, isn't it? You know.
There's a time to forgive.
Yeah.
It's like if I forgive now, I'm gonna attract those energy suckers again.
Yeah. That's
so
right.
I'm using, it's like there's a beautiful saying. Is like someone walks to you and says, "Hey, Paul, you look amazing, man. What have you been using? What's that cream you got on? You look so nice. Your skin looks so beautiful."
It's the semen from a bull. I put on every day.
And your answer is boundaries.
Yeah.
That's why I look great, because I have fucking boundaries.
Yeah.
You know. So forgiveness is like, if I forgive, then all of a sudden I'm giving away that boundary. So how would you navigate that?
Yeah, but sometimes I think it's just really forgiving yourself for hey, just forgive yourself for entering that relationship. You know.
Yes. Yeah.
Keep the boundaries there. You can.
Yeah.
You know, but you don't have to let them off the hook or say anything to
Yes,
your face. Just
I like
say
that.
it to yourself.
Yeah.
You know, hey man, I forgive that person for what they did. They've actually taught me a lot in that moment. You know,
They have.
I'm not what I want to be, and I'm very grateful of that. You know, so I'm feeling pretty good. I've forgiven myself. That'll come in within my boundaries. So let's just get on with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Thank you, man. You've just healed a lot within me. Thank you, man. That's awesome. Anything accompanied by love is infinitely more powerful.
Yeah,
man.
You know, it's if you got hate, it's more hate. It's just a lot more hate, isn't it? You know. So I think that love has a way of just creating that lightness, being the glue in many things, you know, and providing the meaning, you know, giving context to you know something you're doing or a person that you want to be around. You know, if it's surrounded by love, it's just a great place to be. And
it is, man. Like growing up, you know, love to me was my mother. She was like Mother Teresa.
Yeah.
Just like, you know, you're talking about before, like doing so much for others. And then there was this grief because I lost my mum, because she lost herself by doing so much for everybody else, you know. And the other day, I decided that, you know, I've been out of my relationship for almost a year now.
Yep.
And I said, you know, I'm going to open myself up for love. I'm going to manifest that. I'm going to put it out there. And I bump into someone and I go, whoa, wow, these feelings of love is just so fascinating. Such good feelings. You're falling in love feelings.
Yeah.
There's all these different things going on. This person's on your mind and you're like anxious and you're dreaming ideas. And it's a good thing. Your dopamine is high. You're happy. You're dancing. And kids are like, what are you up to? Like, what's going on? You know? Yeah, man, it's such a precious thing to kind of experience when you're falling in love with something or someone, and when you're losing love, the grief of it and how
Yeah.
you deal with it and how you
Yeah.
come out of it. Yeah, man, that's beautiful. Okay, we're moving on. Number 15, give, receive. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you gotta take, you gotta
Yeah.
give back, and that sort of, you gotta keep on top of that and expect people to do that as well. Sometimes I wouldn't be afraid to actually saying it, like, hey, come on, man, I'm not happy with this. You know, I need some more.
Yeah, and I like about giving receivers that, like asking for help. A lot of people struggle to ask for help,
Yeah,
but if you think about when you help someone, generally you're feeling pretty good about it. You feel, oh man, that was good. I helped them do that, and I would look at it this way: is that by not asking someone to help you, you're kind of denying them, that same feeling. So, then when I think about give and receive, you can ask someone to give you their ears for you to talk to, and it's just that nice, the better we can get at asking for help and giving at the same time, it's just exciting what you can open yourself up to.
Yeah, I built my life around being vulnerable and asking for things.
Yes.
Steve Jobs once said when I was 16 is the difference between winners and losers is the people who ask and people who don't ask. So I'd always ask, and I would always accept that 99% of the people will say no. But I lost my way because I would always attract people who would then, you're opening yourself up. They see it as a pathway to manipulate or get, I didn't have the right ways of asking or the boundaries. I was so much driven by trauma, growing up with constant violence and abuse and this and that. So I was attracting that kind of men and people in my life. And so I had to go heal that trauma, to go work on that.
I was exactly the same as you.
Yeah.
And because of that, because he hadn't taken that time to heal, like you say, you attract those same people and end up in the same places, So it was for you. When that happened, did your life change dramatically?
When the healing happened,
Yeah.
oh, incredible! I didn't talk to my dad for 15 years.
Yeah, that's a long time.
And I did this healing, and then it was essentially working with a medicinal plant like ayahuasca. It comes from Africa, called iboga. And you work with that with shamans, and they guide you, your intentions and your coaching and all that kind of stuff. As much as talk therapy was great and things like that, it was really at a different level of healing, at a fast-tracking healing. And just things just sort of shed off, and I just called my dad and I had a chat with him. And it was like forgiveness. It was like, just casual. I don't have like a everyday relationship with him for many different reasons, different generations and different.
But that doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. But it was like, you just your brain opens up to investing into that and creating that time, that space, and just realizing so much of my life was built around all this trauma. I could see it immediately, and then I spent 18 months in undoing all of that. Because you're tied into relationships, your businesses, your kids, and this and that. You can't just pull the pin.
No.
But you work your way through that, and eventually you go, oh wow, that's amazing. My life is different. Yeah. It was fascinating. And I'm only 18 months in that journey, and the medicine is you can have it again. You can go deeper. I sat with that medicine in June 2 months ago. And it was just a beautiful experience to kind of really embody myself, reclaim my power. I lost my sense of humor. I was not funny anymore. I used to be the funniest ever, So now I'm funny all the time. I'm always like, if something doesn't work, we have a laugh about it. Like, hey, it's life, right? Why are you panicking about like this or that? So
you're free.
You are free.
Yeah.
Isn't this great? Bunch of men just sitting around talking about mental health.
Oh, but it's such a great place to be, because when you are in a good place, you want to share that with other people.
Yeah.
Because like I talked about the screens, if people could let us in and let us have a look, we'd go, oh, bro, I've got some of that stuff going on as well, Hey, I thought I was the only one who had that happen to them or thought that about themselves, but clearly not. you know.
Yeah.
Oh, good. You're a little bit weird as well, and
Yeah.
it's normalising it. I think the more men, the more people that just talk more frankly about life and the experiences, the better it is, because whilst we may not connect to a lot of people, the people we connect to, we can have a positive effect on that one thing. It's like,
Yeah.
oh man, that's what I needed. That created that shift of energy, and then I'm going to shift it a little bit more. That inspires me.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Okay. Stay connected to nature. This is awesome. I see you every single day going for a walk with your dog, which is awesome. We're neighbors, by the way, if you're wondering why I'm
He's
following
not got
Paul.
a spine on me. Weird like that. Feel a little bit creepy.
Yeah, exactly. Have faith and trust in what you aspire to, and it will flourish at precisely the right time. I love that. Stay alert for signs. Don't dwell on the past. Stick up for what you believe in. Be grateful for what you have, and you will have everything you need. Go outside. Live in a tidy place. This is a big one for me, man. Like when I went through bad times, man, my house was a mess. My brain was a mess. Later I learned that whatever the messiness was around me was actually a reflection of how my mind was. Now I just love this whole idea of my eyes open up, I gotta be up. Open the windows, open the doors, just, keep things clean, do the beds, do that with the kids, breakfast, just get going. Such a beautiful feeling.
Yeah, and
I protect that now.
Yeah.
I don't let anything come in the way. I was like, no, I gotta do that first.
Yeah. I that's the way my brain works. I like to be in a tidy space. I don't worry about being in someone else's mess, but in my own place, I like to be tidy.
Yeah.
And in terms of my mind, I always have a good clean out of that periodically, but also keep it tidy. And what's worked really successfully for me, both in a material and a mental state, is less has been best for me.
Yeah.
I don't need a lot of stuff, material stuff.
Yeah.
I don't, the things that I'm focused on in my mind are really key things. Around those, there's peripheral things,
Yeah.
but those key things I'm really, mindful of having those tidy and organised.
Yeah. The thing that shift for me was have a bigger rubbish bin and have a smaller shopping bag.
Yeah.
So more stuff goes out
Yeah.
and less stuff comes in.
Yeah, that's cool.
And to me, that was like a beautiful thing. So I'm always getting rid of things quicker.
Yeah, like a lot of
Recycling, whatever,
yeah.
not dump, but yeah.
But a lot of thoughts, we don't need those anymore because they're old ones that aren't relevant anymore.
Yeah,
Tidy it up.
exactly. Drink heaps of water and green tea. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to have some water.
Yeah. I might have that coffee actually. It's still warm.
I think so.
Yeah, cool.
Coffee's always good, even if it's cold. There's some boring oat milk. Are you into oat milk?
I haven't seen any sort of milk.
You're a black coffee kind of guy.
No, I like my milk.
I'll have some too, actually. I've had only one today. This is Ozone Coffee. If you're interested, Empire Blend. That's good. Thanks, man. Cheers. You do cheers with coffee, yeah. Cheers, brother. This is great. I can have you like once a month, just go through these points.
Yeah, I know.
And every time we do it, it's different.
Yeah.
Isn't that fascinating? This is what I love about this. It's like Georgia O'Keeffe painting the same door 25 times. And every time you look at the different doors, it's a different door. It's the same painting, but it's a different door.
Yeah. I'm proud of that. I love the fact that it's just
every time I look at this, it's a different painting for me. And I love that. Okay. Exercise and stretch daily. It's a good point, and I understand the concept. Sometimes I just feel like I'm not interested.
Yeah, and that's good. That's good. For me, it's just about movement now. Like, I just want to keep fit. And that exercise is with my dog.
Yeah.
On the beach in the bush.
It's a good one. Yeah, I mean, I'm in the business of creating workplaces for people that come to work in office environments, And the average person in an office environment does 3,000 steps a day. A healthy person does 10,000 steps a day. So we put a lot of energy in trying to get people to move a lot, work in different places, have multi-level settings, 2 different floors, go to the gym and do yoga classes. So there's a lot of effort that goes into getting people to move and stretch and, not be over time limited physically because they have not been moving a lot.
Yeah, and I think that's where a big change needs to happen is we need to be more proactive. The way we operate is like a sickness service, we react. So if we were moving a bit more, stretching a bit more, there's more likelihood that we'd be, not requiring medical assistance.
Yeah, absolutely. Where are we? Drink heaps of water. We did that. Avoid processed food and sugar. Oh man, this has changed my life. I mean, I'm at a stage where I'll have one meal in 3 days.
Right.
I grew up in a Muslim household, so we did Ramadan. So Ramadan is a month where you fast, and I loved fasting. It was such a good thing for your body, except the fact that when you do break your fast, you eat a lot more than you need to.
Ravenous.
But I just love the fact. For me, it's like, cut that stuff out. But if you can reduce the amount of food you eat, even smaller portions, to start with, and then if you skip meals, it's actually much more buzzy and good for your body. I love going to sleep hungry, like a little bit hungry. It's good.
Yeah.
The worst thing you can do is you have a big meal and then you go to bed. Like imagine your body's trying to process that while you're trying to get some sleep, get some REM.
Yeah. I'm a big 80-20 sort of thinker when it comes to like diet, exercises. That if you're exercising 80% of the time, or you're eating, natural foods as opposed to processed foods, 80% of the time, you have a bit of tolerance,
Yeah, absolutely. No, I love that. Okay. Do not put things off. We talked about that. Absolutely. Not everything in your life will make sense or be just. That's a good one. And trying to stay calm in that.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. And I love to learn from people like the astronauts. I've watched Neil Armstrong land on the moon, whether you believe that or not, hundreds of times, just how calm he is. In this, because everything around him is not making a lot of sense.
Yeah.
There's alarms going everywhere, and there's comms back and forth, and the surface. He's trying to understand. Is he going to go under? Is it powder? Is it land? Or there's so much going on, and a lot of things don't make sense.
But isn't it great though that he dreamed of that moment for a good portion of his life.
Yeah.
And when he arrived at that time, I love the way that he wanted to enjoy it. And yes, things weren't making sense, and and it was like very new, or they hadn't planned for that. But just to stay like, I'm going to really enjoy each moment because this is precious. This is what I waited for.
Yeah.
So to be unflappable, such a great thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a fascinating human being. And it's, I think, lesson in life where from my perspective, the way I'm living my life today, there can be a lot of people around you that sort of attack the fact that a lot of things you're doing don't make any sense.
Yeah.
Your inner circles you have to learn to carry on that journey, even though things don't make sense for them and for you.
Yeah.
And you have to learn to take the heat because you believe in the path that you're going.
Yeah.
And you also got to make sure that it's not a poo at the same time. So there's a lot you're navigating through. Is it a poo? Is it not a poo? No, I believe in this path, but nobody else believes in it.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating. And you got to find out who is that one person. So for me, it's like I got to listen to the market. If I get it right in what I'm doing, people are going to pay for it. They're going to vote for it with their wallets. Yeah. If they don't, they won't. And it'll all work itself out.
Yeah.
I love that. It's a powerful one to navigate. On the surface, it looks like, doesn't make sense, keep going. But there's a lot going on that your brain and your body and your instinct is processing. And that's why, I talk a lot about, I try to not share in real time. I share 3 months before because that kind of, it's a boundary for me. I want to make sense of it to some degree before I share it.
Right.
You know, it's
So put some context around it, so the
yeah.
person, you know, yeah,
Absolutely. Eat fruits, vegetables, and natural food. Well, I think that's a great idea because there's no GST on it anymore. Let's not get into
no,
politics
there's
today.
nothing in politics.
What the fuck is going on over there? Say kind words. Asking for help is a good thing.
And say kind words. Just one thing on that, you know, it's people often think about say kind words to other people,
Yeah.
and generally that will happen when you're saying kind words to yourself. You know,
Yes.
I think that's the big thing. I think that's
That
what
was
I
a big
I think
revelation.
that's what I like about
Revelation for me.
Yeah, is that work on that. Work on saying kind things to yourself, like, you know, I am pretty capable.
I'm so worth it.
Yeah, I'm so worth it.
We got to do that one too.
We do, and you know, I will find a way. You know, I can push through this.
Yeah.
You know, all those words, like I always thought "I love you" was the most powerful words, but I kind of worked out that, you know, there's something probably even more stronger. Sometimes is that I believe in you, or I
Yeah.
believe in myself. You know,
Yeah.
getting that self belief is
Yeah, I do that with my kids at breakfast time. And it's always like words around I'm so worth it, which obviously it's one of your other art pieces. You can change the world. I can change the world. And sort of just those sort of affirmations that they say out loudly.
yeah.
And it's over time they'll figure it out, but it's an imprint you're putting in. So this feeling of, you know, yeah, saying kind words to yourself is something I would always say. I would always say negative things to myself
Be the harsh
about
critic.
myself. Yeah, it's good to be critical,
Totally.
but you don't have to like bash yourself out of your reality. You
That's
know?
right.
You know, yeah. So it's something to
It doesn't make
definitely-
sense to do that, does it?
No, figure out for sure. You get back what you put in 100%.
Yeah.
Sometimes you put in crap, you get back crap.
Yeah. It's so
Yeah, you gotta like, you know, and this is the thing that something that I had to learn to do, and all of these things kind of add to that. If you're eating well, exercising well, sleeping well, you have good energy, you have good people around you, that kind of gets you to a point where you have enough energy to put a lot of detail in every single thing, so you're getting good stuff back. And I went through a time where I was taking shortcuts because, you know, I was exhausted. I wasn't sleeping. I have young kids. I'm running lean as a business. There's so much going on. So whatever I'm putting in is actually not good enough. And when you run a business, like, you know, you are a speaker, you do your artwork, you're doing so many different things. There's constant context switching,
Yeah.
which takes a lot of energy. You're dealing with so many different contexts. And you start to take shortcuts. So you start to delegate things you're not meant to delegate. And that's where it gets mucked up. For me, I've really brought it back into actually being obsessed about every single detail and being involved in every single detail. And I see the results immediately. You know, I can have a conversation with someone with passion and detail, and that 2 minutes conversation can add $1 million worth of value.
Yeah.
Not that I'm talking about money. I'm saying value that is being useful. I'm just use the numbers as a way to sort of quantify what that value is. So I think that's actually been a big one for me, and I do it every single day.
Yeah.
It's
Nice.
a big one. It's a super big one for me. If you don't like being put in a box, don't put someone else there.
Yeah. And I suppose it comes back to number one, you know, don't judge or compare.
Yeah.
But I hate being put in a box. You know how we just assume that someone thinks that way or thinks those things or does certain stuff. It's just so narrow and limiting.
Yeah.
You know, I know why we do it as human beings. Why we want to say, oh well, they must be in that box is to, I guess, give ourselves context and how we act within those environments.
Yeah.
You know, and what boxes we're more comfortable around. Yeah, it's such a nice place when I saw a good graphic once in it, and it showed spirituality, which was an ocean, and then it had a fishbowl, and it said religion, and it's sort of the same thing for me. You know, I know there's lots of little fish bowls or little boxes around, but I want to have access to them. You know, I don't. Yeah, I don't know if I explained it very well, but I don't want to be typecast. You know, I want to be a free spirit to, you know, do whatever I think is right at that point in time, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. No, it's awesome.
you know,
Yeah,
when people
love it.
ask you, what do you do? And I say, well, I mean, I do a lot of things. You know, I'm definitely an advocate for wellness, for people being in their best state of being, you know. But I'm
Yeah.
an artist and I'm a designer, I'm a speaker, I'm
Yeah.
all these different things.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely not in a box.
Yeah, I
You?
think one of the things like I went away from doing myself is that when I meet new people, I don't really get into this conversation. Oh, what do you do?
Yeah, yeah.
That's such an awful
Yeah,
question.
I know.
I fucking hate that
I know.
question.
I do a
When
lot of
people
things.
ask me, I'm like, well, I don't know, because it's just sort of so constructed within the matrix of the ego.
Yeah.
The closest you are to you don't know what you do, the furthest away you are from your ego.
You're so right, because all people are wanting to do is to judge you if you're work in a freezing works, or you work, you know, as a roading contractor. You know,
Yeah.
they're very quickly, I'll just use those examples, but they might judge you on, you know, the level of your job.
Yeah.
If you're a barrister, you know, they might think,
Yes.
yeah, okay, you know,
Yeah.
you're more closer to me.
Yeah. The monk
It's
who
all-
sold his Ferrari.
It's all fucked up.
Beautiful book
Yeah.
of a lawyer that, you know, thinks he's so amazing and so close to his job and just
like, bro,
figured
you-
out the mental WOF, but
Yeah.
shit.
I know. It's like, bro, you're in the service industry, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, don't get too far ahead of yourself, you know. Like, so it's yeah. I think I also like the you know, it's creating imagery in your mind. You know, you can sort of see the boxes and you can start to, you know,
Yeah.
figure out whether you do that or you don't. And I love that. I love that. You know, the further you're away from, you know, what you know that you do, the further you're away from your ego.
Yeah.
There's a sense I find in my work that I kind of make it up as I go along, and that's what I do like about is that it's just a constant, you know, creating content. It seems to be limitless, because in that moment things change a bit, or that idea sparks.
Yeah.
You know, it's a nice thing to be
Yeah, I
able to
love
do.
that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I can see that through your work. Next one, we are at 37. Make fun a priority.
Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, having
And you're allowed to have fun before things fall into place. You gotta have fun. You don't have to wait to feel great to have fun.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait to beat your cancer before you have fun.
That's right.
You don't have to wait to be successful before you have fun. This is something I got absolutely, totally fucking wrong. I fucked it up big time. I was so uptight. I was like waiting for that validation, that mana, that respect through my work. But actually, no, I'm cool. I can have fun now.
Yeah.
And I can get into a intense conversation with my team about something we're trying to solve. And the next minute, we're having a laugh about something else. We're having fun being in that present moment.
Yeah.
And I have it actually tattooed on my hand, fun, the word fun, which for me is if you're having fun, you're unbeatable.
Yeah.
The mental WOF is like fun is such a big thing. If you're having fun and you're joking about yourself and you're self-embarrassing yourself and it's all part of it, like, you know, then it's just, you're just unbeatable. You're bulletproof in many ways.
And I love, you know, like talking to kids about sport and art, or, you know, that thing that they're into. And, you know, the cornerstone, all you got to be mindful of is, am I having fun, you know?
Yeah.
With your friends, are you having fun? And that is, if you're not, then just go change that thing, or change something, you know, within what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's a good barometer.
And what do you think the mental WOF is trying to break through? Is it trying to break through an aggregate view of a society of what life is, or is it trying to tackle more of the individual itself that's struggling through the emotions and the experience of being a human being?
I think all of the above.
Yeah.
And a big thing really is that, you know, if we become more self-aware, then we're in a better place to shift our energy, you know, quicker. And then that's a big thing, you know, like once you start to, we're never going to have all the pieces of the puzzle in the right places, you know, because we lose a piece, you know, or a piece gets broken. But if we got most of them in the right place, you know, then we are going to find inner peace.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is really around helping with that that self-awareness, and on the back of that, obviously it's great to connect with other people, drive conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that.
Because you get, the way you describe fun might be different to me, or any of their points, and I think that just creates more opportunity for people to take something that resonates with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, next one's awesome. I love that one. Get a hobby. My hobby's podcasting.
Yeah.
What's yours?
Ooh.
You can't say making art. That's not a hobby.
No.
Which I'm sure is for many.
Yeah.
Doing art at home and
Yeah. What is a hobby for me at the moment? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel my art is so intertwined into my life now.
Yeah.
It's just
There's no work-life balance in
No.
many ways. There is life, work is part of it,
yeah.
and you want it to be so personal and intertwined. It has to be
Yes.
personal.
It does.
But yeah,
Can I say my children?
yeah. But same thing with podcasting as well. It's so intertwined in many ways. Like I love having conversations, but I also love making it work in some way.
Would I be able to say of course I can say, business has become a hobby that I'm really interested in.
Yeah.
Because I
love that.
I was really shit at it for a long time because I wasn't a good listener. I wasn't connected to myself. All those reasons why, I sort of struggled with it. But, surrounding myself with really talented people, I'm talking to you today, being around aspirational people, and it's been really good. I'm really interested in business now and the sense of scale. It's like, wow, wouldn't it be cool to help people all around the world through using your talents? So I suppose if I was going to think about, that would be it right now. So I'm really interested in it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, business is fun.
Yeah, that's
The mechanics of business, the operations, the executions. You've got a online shop, and you've got all these artworks that people can get as prints, and then they, you think of them as products. And what is it generating for you, and how can you make it more accessible? Can it be video-based content? Can it be books for kids? Can it be a Netflix TV series? And you're having those commercial conversations and.
And I think, just hearing you say that, it's like, yes, that's all on the list.
How can it live on for 100 years, 200 years?
Absolutely. And the other element that was a big thing is making it fun, like thinking, okay, you can be in this space. There's room for whoever wants to be in this space.
Yeah.
Make it fun,
Yeah.
and so, it's been an enjoyable experience because I have never experienced it before.
And in the next 10 years, you have a lot of important questions to figure out from a business perspective. Is, do I set up a trust?
That's right.
Who is going to look after my art? How are they going to expand it? How am I going to leave all this, like, hundreds and hundreds of unfinished work that someone can take and really bring to life and keep feeding the machine, No, that's I'm really pleased to hear that you've kind of found that as a hobby.
Yeah, it is, and just that learning too. It's knowing what I'm more confident at, or have a natural mastery of. But then that peripheral stuff of going, wow, I really appreciate what someone has done to get to that point, that knowledge that they've amassed, and then to be able to connect to that and have that downloaded in a more simplistic way that you can digest, and then expand, your current self. You go, okay, that's good. I can connect that now, and it is, I guess, around expansion. Expanding your mind and your sense of reach. It is a cool thing, a byproduct of the hobby. When a hobby, you do a hobby. You're learning new things, and you're meeting new people, and I think that's the big thing of it, isn't it? It doesn't matter whether it's business or it's crochet, or it's gardening, whatever it is. It comes with so much positive byproduct.
Yeah. One of my big learning that I have come across now, and it's sort of shifted my focus on how I'm approaching the next phase of my business growth, is for the last 5 years, there's been a direct relationship between me and the product, you and the art, for example, right? Now I've come to realize that the next phase has to be that if I bring on board the right people and inspire them and mobilize them about the product and what the product means to the world from what it has achieved so far, and if I get the right strategy, and then if I get the right culture, then it will expand itself.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I think it's an interesting one for you to explore because you've kind of, you're way ahead of what I'm doing in terms of your reach.
Yeah.
And it becomes fascinating to sort of solve that business challenge as a hobby. It's like, how do I want to work with other people? Do I want to build a team, or is it going to be a charity, or And so all of that stuff is super fascinating. It has to be a hobby. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun thing to do as a business.
The longer you can keep the fun bit involved in it, the longer it will travel, I think.
Yeah, I think so. That's awesome. All right. Number 39. Where are we?
At the top.
Listen.
Yeah. I struggled with that for a long time.
Yeah.
A, listening to myself, and
Yes.
then B, listening to other people. I always thought that I needed to explain where I was at and what I was going to do or add. In the place where I am in my life now, I realise that the smartest people are the best listeners.
Yeah.
Both to themselves and other people. So I've really worked hard at that, and I'm not as motivated by hearing my own voice. Of course, yes, I talk and I communicate a lot, but I'm really interested in how well I hear.
When I did the first 3-4 episodes of the podcast, man, I was struggling.
In what way?
Because I'm so used to talking myself. I'm on the stage, I'm talking, When you do a podcast and you're the host of the podcast, you're actually doing very less talking. You're listening more. You're listening on not just the conversation that's happening now, but where's the arc? You start with a good story, a good hook.
Yeah.
And then you get to the body of the story, and then there's a climax. And so there's a lot of listening going on.
Sounds like a scene from Penthouse, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. But listening, it's a big one. And I feel like, again, going back to all the other points that we've talked about, kind of opens yourself up to be a better listener because you're dealing with so many different things. If you're not a good listener, it's just tight.
Yeah.
And it's just reading this once a day means like, it makes you a better listener, I reckon.
Yeah, and there's that.
It's having this on your wall.
Yeah. It's I'm proud of the fact that it's in, toilets up and down the country and overseas, because I know that it's we visit that place a bit, and to know that people are reading on the wall is a cool thing.
Yeah, man, I love it. Okay, we are number 40. Where are we? Number 40. I love the idea that you have them everywhere.
Up the top.
Do art. Number 40 is do art. Yeah.
You're just that creative buzz, whether you're a mechanic, a gardener, a home cook.
Yes.
Just do art, be expressive, and I think that's a beautiful thing to be able to share with others.
Absolutely, man. I love that. I really love that. 41. Where are we? It's 41. 40 is there.
It's a good thing. It's like a puzzle.
It is, yeah. I'm trying to find. Oh, there it is. It's just below the Mental W.O.F sort of label. Avoid processed food. Oh, no, that's 41. Yeah, we did that one. It's 40.
40's at the top. There's do art.
Yeah, so we did 41. Okay, we're going to go to 42. Smile often and cry when necessary. Oh, I love this one. I reflected on this one yesterday for like a good 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, I'm a smiler. I was born as with a smiling face. It's been a good calling card for me. They're open. I find it's a powerful thing to be able to smile and have that. Even though sometimes it's a mask, but most of the time it's genuine.
Yeah, it has to be. And I one of the things like I guess, grieved a lot about is I used to cry a lot,
Yeah.
and it was a beautiful emotion. And then I lost crying as a way. I didn't cry for like good 5-6 years.
Yeah.
I would cry at the movies, for example,
Yeah.
very easily. I'd cry
Same.
all the time. And then I was like, what happened? Why have I lost? I felt like I had to mask the smile and this sort of like father and protect my household and do this and do that and do this. And I lost that emotion. It was such a beautiful emotion. And it's starting to come back now, but it's very minimal
Yeah.
in terms of me being able to get emotional about something,
Yeah.
you know?
I like now that I feel I cry out of happiness.
Yeah.
That overwhelming
Yeah.
emotion of just feeling good, and it comes
Yeah.
out often as tears.
Yeah.
But having a good cry as well, like you can't beat it. It's like, it's like a pressure cooker. Sometimes you have that,
Yeah.
get rid of the steam.
Mm.
Don't suppress it.
Yeah.
I always say, I suffer from hay fever. I'm quite a teary sort of
Yeah.
rainy face when it comes to movies and
Yeah.
human
Well,
emotion.
Yeah, it is. And they're all sort of connected to different things. And one of the things I'm navigating now is like, I'm trying to, like, my dopamine would be the highs are high, the lows are lows. I'm chasing the high. So I'm trying to find, I think I've cracked it. I've cracked this idea of getting dopamine from doing nothing.
Yeah.
The basic things, doing dopamine from getting the basic things, doing dopamine from doing the things I don't love doing, like going to the gym and like, busting my ass off, for example. And just such a huge shift in my smiling and my crying and my sort of balance
Yeah.
in life. It's just, you just gotta stay calm.
Yeah.
Things are going well, stay calm.
Yeah.
Things are not going well, stay calm.
I feel like now that my smile is, I smile from the inside out, and because I feel
Yeah, you
So,
can kind of
you
feel
know,
it like your eyes,
Yeah.
and it's like it's a beautiful smile.
it's nice. It comes from that place inside you. You can't fake a smile for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Okay, 43. If it gets dark, look for the light. There is always light.
Yeah. We've all been in a dark hole from time to time, or
Yeah.
very in depths. But that's it's so critical to always, I think, be optimistic about the future, or be hopeful that things can change. And that back to gratitude, be grateful for what you have. You can bring light into your life at any moment that you choose. And it always frightens me when the lights get turned off for people and it gets overwhelmingly dark, because it's the danger zone.
Yeah.
So I'm very mindful of I guess to keep the darkness away is every day to be mindful of bringing that light into my life, and we talked about, you kind of work out a way to keep my battery at optimum level, or what I need to be at my best, and that's just focused around where does your light come from? You understand that?
Yeah, I was
where
just
does
going to ask that.
Where does your light come from?
Yeah,
And
which sort of then answers the question
Yeah.
is how darkness is created.
Yeah.
I want to understand that.
So if the light goes away, then it gets darker.
Yeah.
So it's obviously we don't want to get to that dark place. We're always going to have ups and downs in life, but we don't want that volatility, do we? Where we are, and that self-regulation becomes such a critical part of the mix. Being
Yeah.
proactive of opening the curtains in your mind to bring in the light.
Yeah.
Opening the sunroof and going outside, and
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. I
artificial
figured,
light, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah. For me, I realized that I actually created the darkness myself. And what I was doing is I was constantly in crisis mode. That's been my life from the point that I was born. So I had to figure out to get out of this crisis
Yeah.
mode, because I was creating crisis.
Well, that's what you knew probably. Yeah, that was your rhythm.
It's just my rhythm. Just I function in crises. That's great. That's good. But you can actually function without needing that as well. So I was kind of creating the darknesses and using the darkness as a fuel to kind of find the light. But you figure out that there's actually you don't want to see the light, or there's no light, or it's a fascinating.
Yeah.
And once you figure that out, it's like, what the fuck is going on over here?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
are you doing?
Yeah. Well, it's nice to know that you can get out of the light and you can exist in there and you can create still, or you can exist. But it does come with danger, doesn't it? Not enough light. It's harder,
Yeah,
heavier,
yeah. And I also
easier to get lost.
Yeah, I've also find peace with this idea of mortality. If you believe in something and it's your calling and you're doing that, you're either gonna succeed or you're gonna die trying.
Yeah.
And so, when you put that in the context of finding the light, it's like I'm at the peace as well with that. It's okay if I don't find the light.
Yeah.
Because I believe in the path. The path is my light,
Yeah.
not the destination.
Yeah. And
So I'm creating that light as I go.
and that light might be small in the distance, but as long as you're heading towards it,
Yes.
the draw, the
Yeah. And light
pull
is
of
like the light you see in the sky is not the light you're seeing in real time. It's traveled light years to get to you.
yeah, nice.
So there's like so much history behind that sort of light. It's not what you're actually seeing.
Yeah.
So you are the light. You're creating the light. By the time someone sees it, but that light has been around for 10 years
Yeah.
before someone else has seen it.
Yeah.
So to me, that's quite fascinating.
One of the sort of meanings behind my last name, Rangiwahia, is the light through the clouds.
Yeah, I love
if
that.
you look out on the horizon of the sea and you see that light coming through, that's Rangiwahia, which is a cool,
Yeah, beautiful
cool thing.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love it. All right, we're going to do the last one for this artwork, which is number 44.
It's 45. It's 2.
45 is, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Where is 45, by the way?
It's just in and down here.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, 44. And as for goals and dreams, you are never too old to have them. I love this one. Have you ever come across an artist called Grandma Moses?
No.
Grandma Moses is one of the most prolific painters of all time. She discovered painting when she was 86. Her paintings now get sold for like 1.2 mil.
Yeah,
2 mil, 3
I do know
mil.
who you're talking about.
Yeah, Grandma Moses. Yeah, just incredible. Like, you're never too old.
I know, which is I always love as you get older and you see inspirational, people who just think, why not? And I think that's as simple as that, isn't it? Just why not?
It's something I struggled with. Like, I see a lot of people, they kind of crack it, get lucky when they're young, and they sort of ride that wave and they evolve. And a lot of people you see, they don't find that until they're 60.
Yeah.
And so
But I always say you'd rather find it at 60 than 80, let's say,
Right,
and,
yeah.
And I think I love about goals and dreams is that fact that we can visualize things. I really enjoy that as a process, like having those conversations, to my future self or people that connected to my work, and it's fun. It's really a fun place to really stretch your imagination and start to think about how you want to write that particular chapter, even though it's not exact. You start to get a feel and a sense, And it's a big driver now, and I think when you're in a good place, within yourself, it's just a nice place to know that you can believe in those dreams, and there's a sense of I can make that happen.
Yeah, staying calm when fires are burning and working through that. Awesome. Okay, last one, 45. Try just one more time.
Yeah, I mean, it looks.
It's a nice way to end it.
Yeah. Sometimes we stop. We stop right at the edge of the finish line.
You do.
And look, that's okay. But there's certain things where it's okay to quit on. I think you can quit on things that are hurting you. But sometimes, like it's just good just to press on a little bit further. And I'm really proud of myself, and I'm sure you're the same, of those times when you have just tried one more time and you've gone, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, right. I can see that. I can see that over there, you know. And if I didn't climb up that little bit, I wouldn't have seen that, And that was hard, but I didn't trust myself, but I got here and wow, I'm closer to that
Yeah.
that thing I saw or
There's
I felt.
nothing to lose to try one more time.
Yeah.
You know, and there's everything to lose when you don't.
Yes.
In I guess in context for sure. But yeah, no, that's amazing. Thanks, man.
Hey,
Thanks
man, my
for
pleasure.
going through this Mental W.O.F. I mean, it's available as a print.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna point out, there it is, available as a print on your online shop.
Yeah. So welliam.co.nz.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, definitely want to get one for Johnson Corner. We're setting up here now in New Plymouth.
Yeah. I showed you the cool thing from the art is each point now is I'm starting to create an individual artwork.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
For every single point.
There we go.
Yeah. And obviously I've got a lot of
So
works.
sort of diving deeper into
Yeah.
each point, like we talked about.
Yeah, so
on
the goal is so the 10th anniversary next year for the
Oh,
Warren Fitness.
wow.
And one of the projects of wellIM is to digitize the artwork. So in time, in behind the artworks, if you think of a hyperlink, clicking on that, it opens up to a whole
Yeah.
other, a podcast between you and I, or some
Yes.
other content, some
Yes.
tips, and just really trying to, keep adding value to the artworks and keeping it alive and keeping
Yeah.
it, moving and fresh. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so you can come back for 45 times and we can go through each one of them.
Yeah,
And
great.
just talk about that.
in greater depth, and I think that's what I love about the artwork and the Mental Warren Fitness is that it's very much an enduring piece of artwork.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
I want to bring you back before I sort of move into other things I want to talk to you about. I want to bring you back and do your other artwork and just go through it, which is I'm So Worth It.
Yeah.
I think that's just a beautiful one. I read somewhere last night that one of your visions is to sort of create Taranaki as the wellness capital of the world or New Zealand. To talk to me about that vision. What do you mean by it? How do you create it? How do you bring it to life?
yeah. Well, when I look at the province where I grew up in and have
Yeah.
returned to, it just makes sense for me to do my utmost to make it a thriving province. And I know there's lots of people doing wonderful things, and I'm only part of the mix. But I think it's a really achievable thing. Is that we can identify, what is it that we want to hold as good behaviours as for each other, as what do strong connections look like, what does aspirational environments look like, and start to chip away and start to take action, because I think we're sort of struggling around the country as we're still in the awareness phase, so there's a lot of people out there talking about mental health, wellness, and that's great, that's part of the mix, but I think we need more actions. So I want to be able to create a business, and that's why I'm really it's a hobby at the moment, is to understand how I can use that as a means to help start to trial different things. So I started off as an example with the Hawora in Schools Awards. It was an award that we started here in Taranaki around identifying what are great initiatives that people are doing in terms of individual or group wellness, community wellness.
Yeah.
And start to share those ideas, and that now has become a national award, and that's hopefully going to grow over time.
Nice.
And then from the obviously proceeds of business profits or connections and projects with different stakeholders, is trialing things like trauma. I've learned to understand, and you and I touched on this briefly. But trauma is something that is very commonplace, but it's something that we haven't really normalised and said, hey, well, let's identify it at this stage of life, as opposed to later on in life, where drugs or broken relationships or alcohol stuff has got in the way and really muddied things. I'd like to start to do things in schools like, let's have a trauma program, that we trial here in Taranaki. I think of the wellness of taranaki is like a petri dish. We have all these different petri dishes. We can start, trialing things. We can start creating really strong energy cells, sharing ideas, and growing that. I think we can achieve the goal. But like trauma, for example, if we can identify that at high school, if we can find a way to normalize that and give people strategies, that's going to empower our community. So there's lots of things that I have in mind to achieve that goal, but I'm just at the moment really I guess an advocate for that. Starting to sell that idea. Imagine what it could look like.
Yeah.
And it's a simple thing. I don't what is the capital of the wellness capital of New Zealand look like? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure we can figure it out together.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's lots of people I can already think of that are doing great things in the space. And so having that conversation and having that vision and getting people to realize, this could be something that we can do.
Yeah.
And starts the conversation. And then you have the awards, for example, that, something that sort of lives on and grows and, becomes something that's always part of the conversation. And the art's always sort of driving that. And then eventually you'll have, I guess, from your perspective, structures in place through business that continue to feed that machine.
Yes.
And then everybody else is doing the same thing in their own way. And eventually it becomes, it feeds into the fabric of life.
Yes.
There is less of this and more of that.
Exactly.
And you can quantify it, and there's productivity. As we talk about New Plymouth being the lifestyle capital of New Zealand, it feeds into a better lifestyle.
Yep.
There's things are affordable. People can have a home. There's good businesses. Taranaki is a great region to come and build a business. So it also feeds into if you don't have mental health and physical health, you have nothing.
Yeah.
So such a powerful fabric of life.
And just the way you described it is exactly that. It's just if you can put something out there, and start to, put that coal on the train, it'll move faster and faster the more coal you put on it. Probably not a good analogy, for the conversation of climate change, but you get what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, I love that, and I wish you the best with that vision, and I'll keep an eye on it. But I always see you rushing into a chat or a talk or a gig that you're doing. So it's pretty awesome to see that you are spreading that light. It's awesome. We're coming to spring. Spring is around the corner, which is exciting. We've had a shitty summer this year. You have something called the Spring Clean.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Yeah, well, the more, going through my own journey, talking to people about, their own sense of self, their feelings, emotions, communicating those things, I realised in New Zealand that we're shit at that. We're shit at expressing how we feel and articulating that. So I wanted to help. I wanted to create something that, if you could think in a really simplistic way, if I opened up your head right now and I took out all the things that were going on in your head and I summarized each thing to a feeling, to a single word, whether it be your work, whether it is hobbies, your emotions. And I was able to lay them all out in front of you. And I think I've got just over a couple of hundred images.
Yeah.
So I haven't got it here today, but a lot of images.
Yes.
But
this is the one you took me through.
So it's a box. You open up the box. So
it's a box.
It's your head. You're opening up. You then
and you have these sort of
tiles, and they have
words on them, and then you organize them based on how you're feeling.
Yes.
And you put them in categories.
Yes.
Fun, a dark, or
you find your own way.
Find your own way.
It'll naturally.
Yes. So that's step number 2.
And then you have these symbols. That you're able to help explain, and what's going on. The great thing about putting everything out there is you realize very quickly that, yes, there's some challenges in your life at that moment. You might be struggling, but there's also all these other good things. because we can never lose sight of that. Often we focus on the shit that's going wrong as
Yeah.
opposed to
Or
what's
we
going right.
overwhelm ourselves with the big picture.
Yeah.
You put everything in one box. With this, you can actually break it down
And so the spring cleaning, it was exactly that. It was about
step by step.
Yeah. So you could, when you clean up an area of your home or your garage or your car or your office, is that you're getting rid of things you don't need or that are not relevant.
Yeah.
So in the spring clean context, you have a year and a now pile, and you move the tiles to the year. You know, what's relevant in my life at the moment? What's on the radar? And the now pile is, no, that's actually not relevant. It's not, really a big thing in my life at the moment. And with those, that tells a story, the now pile as well. But the year one, the current space, then we're able to, as I said, to group those things. And naturally you'll find, those groupings. And then you have these symbols. So you've got like a clock. Where did your attention go to? So you can overlay that, road cone. What's a challenge or what's, slowing you down? Forklift. What do you need some heavy lifting with? And what I wanted to do is to help people communicate what was going on in their head, to get rid of stuff, to order things, and to get clarity so they could take action and do that without having to say a single word to anyone.
Yeah, I love that.
So you could walk into the room and I would have done that. And whilst you don't know me, you could get a feel or a sense of where I'm at.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, it's just another tool in the mix to be able to help people arrive at a point in time where they can articulate how they feel, without having to say anything, get that order, and then hopefully take an action and take some positive steps forward.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
So this is a new tool you've built, and you have been testing this now. How is that going?
So it's still been tested. So it's gone out to lots of different groups.
Sure.
So clinical psychiatrists, it's gone to sports groups, to businesses, to schools, educators. And the idea was for the individuals to use it, because that's really ultimately what it is about, as a maintenance tool.
Yeah.
But then also how they can use it as a group.
Sure. Yeah.
And what I'm really loving about the feedback to date is that it's just to help people arrive at a place where actually I shouldn't be overwhelmed, because there's nothing to be overwhelmed about.
Yeah.
That just things like that are really powerful.
Yeah.
Just to look at it and go, oh, I've got to dial back the worry and dial back the anxiety, because I realize that I don't need to be anxious about that.
Yeah.
So there's so many different things that some people don't need that tool at the moment, but it's a reminder that they're in a really, really good place. So it's about celebration.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what?
Yeah.
There's a lot of good going on for me right now. And then for people who are, really battling, it's a really nice place to know that they can make a plan.
Yep.
And that there is a way out.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, even for me, someone that does a spring clean every 3 months mentally and put it on post-it notes without having any guidance and always have the worry of I might have missed something, and then put a 6-week sprint together of focusing on the things that are relevant. Even for someone like me, would be very useful to have a tool like that.
Yeah, you have to
just to start with that.
Yeah.
It's just everything is in this box. I pull it out. I just make a nice cup of coffee, get some music going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sunshine. Get this organized. I can do it with my partner. Not that I have one today, but one day.
Absolutely.
And my kids.
Yeah.
Or my colleague. That's amazing. So can I at some point I can buy one online, right? So I can jump on your website, I can order a spring clean and it arrives in a box.
Yeah,
is that how it's going to go?
So at the moment, what we want to do as a business is really to refine it before we put it on the DIY market. It's just really about capturing all that feedback and then just starting to shape that a little bit more.
Get the right words, right categories, the right ways of executing, good instruction in there, a good tool.
Because I see it as a globally, I see it as an exciting product because it's only a single word, it can be, done in any language.
Yeah, and you want it to also fit in within all the other mental well-being, personality type tools out there. Like people do 16 personalities.
Yeah.
They do, all sorts of different things that are out there. Some are more spiritually,
Totally.
focused. Some are mental. Some are personality. Some are business focused. I've done so many of these. Just go online and you pay $20-$30 and you learn something about yourself.
Yeah. And this is playful. You can capture that moment, so photograph it.
Yeah.
And then you can see your progress over time.
Yeah.
You can share that image with someone else.
Yeah.
It's just opens up the door a lot faster. But it's just part of the mix. But that's what I really enjoyed about bringing in art and using it as a problem solving. How can I solve problems? And that has value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, I don't want to put pressure on you, but spring is around the corner. This is spring clean.
Yeah.
So if I can buy one, that would be great.
You can use it for. I'll get you yours to look at, and you can give me yours.
Yeah, let me do mine, and you can walk in the room, and
Yeah.
I'll text you.
Yeah.
You come over, and you
you
have a
take
look.
me through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Take you through it.
Okay.
Yeah. In 6 weeks' time.
Yeah,
I'm
nice.
doing this big spring clean at the moment.
Okay.
Mental.
Right.
So we can do that. Awesome. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, but I think if you look at the spring, it's coming. We're in spring, and the seasons. I like to look at each season and give myself a little challenge. Because it's a 90-day window, really, isn't it? If you sort of break it down.
Yeah.
Taking a little goal, and it might be just something like, I'm just going to focus on gratefulness for the spring season. I'm just going to focus on that. So for every day during spring, 3 times a day, I'm going to find 3 things I'm grateful for. At the end of spring, there's 270 things that you've had to look around for. It's really a great way to rewire, some of your thinking. So over that course of that season, you've got a really great chance to really change your outlook on things.
Yeah.
So it's quite exciting, to do those sort of things. And then if that really works, it just carries on naturally, and then for the next season, you can try something new again.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming, man.
Thanks,
It's been
bro.
fun. I'm definitely going to have you again, and we're going to go through the next artwork, as I've mentioned a couple of times before. I think it seems like a really nice format.
Yeah, it's good.
Just take the artwork out and go through it, and obviously you're going to, at some point, at the 10th anniversary, launch all the big ones. So
Yeah.
maybe we could do a series on that. That would be fun. Just get it captured.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's nice to have this out there,
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, awesome. Well, bye, everybody.